Condemnation they far away. Ibukun just they come my way. Goodness and mercy surely. Never to turn away. Say make nobody bother me. I've decided say all my days now for Jesus to control you, control me. Only I know go come. Cause I crown of glory. I did what
For 24/7 soul edifying content, this is Kristocentric Station, playing at Kristocentric.com. Kristocentric Station, the Kingdom Promoter.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to another edition of the Kristocentric News live on the Kristocentric Station. We are broadcasting from Accra, Ghana, and I'm your Christian news anchor, YEBOAH EDWIN TAKYI. Today, we're going to be talking about an issue that is causing a lot of stir and havoc in the public. Today, we are talking about document fraud. And with me in the studio, I have DSI Lawrence BAALU. He is a document expert at the Document Fraud Expertise Center of the Ghana Immigration Service. He's going to be shedding light onto this serious issue. Good evening, DSI Lawrence.
Good evening.
How you doing?
To your listeners.
Great. All right. So, first question. How long have you been doing this? How long have you been a document expert?
A little over 5 years.
5 years. Wow. And can you share with us, what exactly your role entails as a document expert?
So we do analysis and verify question documents for our stakeholders and other sister security services. Also conduct trainings for our officers at the training schools and the academies. And when they come on the job too, we do on-the-job trainings for them before they go to the field. So basically, that's what we do. We also provide expert advice on security documents when it comes to national issues.
What exactly is document fraud? That's the topic we'll be discussing today.
Exactly.
But for the listeners who don't know, what is document fraud?
So when we talk about document fraud, it's very broad, but let me try and hazard a definition for you. So we are looking at the manufacturing, counterfeiting, altering, sale, and or use of security documents and other false documents to circumvent the state laws or to deceive the public.
Is there a serious issue?
It's a very serious issue because of the ignorance people have in documents. They seem not to. There are a lot of things people do that can be classified as document fraud or abuse of documents. And before I go ahead, you can't talk about document fraud without talking about document security. So if you look at document security, we are looking at elements and security features that are embedded in security documents to preserve their integrity, to make it difficult for miscreants to abuse it or misuse it.
How long has this been going on for?
It's been going on for so long a time. such that. So if I give you example, just by sending your document for a pastor to pour oil on it can alter it, and if you don't take care, it will be termed as document fraud. Just by presenting wrong details to apply for your passport can be seen as document fraud. And in our country, we like to use third parties. We don't want to do things ourselves, so do it for me. This one has done it before, so they end up doing things that you are not aware. So you might end up not even being aware of the details that have been presented or used to represent you, and it all encompasses document fraud.
You know, you just mentioned pastors pouring oil. How exactly, how does that constitute document fraud? Because we believe in, the power of God. He's giving you something. You're taking it to your pastor to pray on it as a thank you or to ensure that it goes through. How exactly does that really constitute document fraud?
So this normally it's related with paper-based documents. Because if it's a card, a polycarbonate, the oil won't disturb the paper. But if it's a security paper and you pour oil on it, the paper will absorb the oil, seeps into the paper and disturb some of the security elements in the security document in question. So it could be termed. So when some people abuse document, they try to clean it and try to pour oil on it. So we want to know exactly what you've done there. And when we conduct analysis, we can't really pronounce on what has been cleaned or not. So it is not advisable. Yes, it has a hard cover. They can pray and just a little touch of the anointing oil, but pouring it into the passport is a no-no.
Are there different types of document fraud, or is it more like one thing covers all?
No, there are different types. There are an array of it we can look at. So we can look at the counterfeiting of documents. That's a total reproduction of the document. So, you can't just stand up and produce a document. It needs to be produced by the appropriate authorities, the right people, backed by laws. For example, if you want a passport, you can't sit in your house and produce your passport and start using it. You need to go to the right authorities, provide the right details for it to be given to you. So there are an area of it. We also have the alteration, that's forging. So you could have a document that is genuine and all that, but then you would alter it. You have people altering their date of birth, the expiry date of documents, and all these constitute document fraud. So that would constitute document fraud and the document will be rendered invalid. You can't travel with such a document. You have people who claim they need travel experience, so they might have not traveled, but they find ways to get stamps into their passports. And if it's we find this out, it will be termed as document fraud.
Now, DSI Lawrence, what are the key documents that any citizen will need when traveling? And how can someone make sure that they are obtaining those documents from the right channels, not from any wrong channel?
Okay, so as a citizen, if you want to travel, the first thing you look at is you should have a passport, a valid passport. Then secondly, you ask yourself, where do you want to go? The country you want to go, do you require a visa? If you require a visa, go to the appropriate people to secure the visa. If you are not expected to have a visa. For example, we have the ECOWAS countries. We have this visa agreement that you can travel to a sister ECOWAS country without having a visa. So all you need is your ticket. But then if it requires a visa, like I said, you apply through the appropriate channel. And even before you start the passport, you need to go to the right issuing authority, which is the passport office, to apply for it. But what you find in this part of the world is people like to use third parties. So they say, oh, connection man, I want to travel, so do the passport for me, do the visa for me. You end up finding yourself in trouble, because if you've not gone to the embassy to apply for the visa, you didn't take biometrics, and you've been given the visa, you should question it. So you have said the second bit of your question. How do you know? How do you know? One is what I've dealt with. So if you go to the passport office and you apply for a passport genuinely, you know it's a genuine passport. You rarely would find, if there is any mistake, it could be mistake within the system that can be rectified. So if you can't really speak to the source of the document you're having, you can always walk to an immigration office. You can walk to the Document Fraud Expertise Center to get it verified for you.
Before we go on a short commercial break, why is it that using third parties is wrong? Basically, you have to go to the embassy. Are you saying that the third parties, using third parties or somebody is wrong? And why is it?
So I wouldn't say it's necessarily wrong, but when you have done it yourself, you can speak to what you've done. But if you use a third party and he makes a mistake, who would be responsible for the mistake?
What are some of the mistakes that these third parties normally make?
So sometimes it could be deliberate. So you have a third party applying for a visa for you, uses a forged bank statement. And if you are apprehended, you would say, oh, you don't know about it, someone did it for you. But once you presented a document and it represents you, you are equally culpable. So using third parties are sometimes not the reliable source, and it's not advisable.
You mentioned bank statement, wrong bank statement. If the bank statement is correct, we have the instances of people who would transfer money into a bank statement just to, in the words people use, run the account just for those visa purposes. But it's not necessarily their money. In those cases, is it wrong to do that?
So what I would say here is, if you're applying for a visa and a bank statement is required, the question is, do you have a bank statement that has the right amount that can enable you secure the visa? If it's yes, you can go ahead. Do you have someone who has a bank statement that can support your application of the travel document you want? If it's yes, you can go with it. The reason why I'm not giving you a direct answer is that you can say, someone can say, I'm running the account. How do you know the account is being run? So if you can speak to the bank statement, if it's your bank statement, you've done transactions, genuine transactions, you print it. So I wouldn't say running the account, because if you say running the account, it gives the wrong idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an account you've been using. Money has gone through the account and has come out. You've been asked to present a bank statement. You've presented your bank statement.
But what if that's not in the end, that's not your money? It's someone's money, and after you have to send it back.
So that it not being your money is nobody's business.
Okay.
It's your bank statement. So it's also the same as you going to a relative to support you with his bank statement to apply for a a visa or something. There's nothing wrong with it. But once the details in the account is the right details and you've presented it, you are good to go. But if it turns out that the details in the account, the period it was printed, doesn't reflect what the bank has, you find yourself in trouble because you have committed document fraud.
You've mentioned a few cases. You've mentioned they will ask you if you can't ascertain to the details on the bank statement. At which point do they ask you whether these details are right?
So they won't ask you. Normally what the embassies will do is, I don't know why I'm speaking for them, but because they are our stakeholders, we work with them. So you've presented your document, right? And you've left. So they are assessing to see whether they would grant you the visa or not. They would contact the bank to find out whether the details you've presented them on your bank statement reflect what is in your account.
Wow. You've given us so much to think about. And for those who've listening so far, if the details in the bank statement are correct and the funds are valid, you don't have an issue. So we're going to be listening to a message from the Ghana Immigration Service about document fraud. And when we return, we'll continue asking DSI Lawrence BAALU questions about document fraud. Please stay tuned.
Yo, my people, I dey greet you. It be your boy ASI Kito back on your screens again. We still there on the same educational vibes. We educate somebody, make somebody tell somebody something, make somebody no go do something, make somebody in body have make you go lock himself at the end of the day. Today the topic be document fraud. What be document fraud? Right now everybody want change the system small. I want change my date of birth. I want change my name. Charlie, we know the 90s again. We did the 21st century. Technology advance. So if you feel say you be smart, we will smart past you. The technologies where we will get to detect all these things, you know get up. So don't go lose guard, do something where you go lock yourself in anything. If somebody assure you of some visa or something for some side, you always be saying for do the necessary checks. The checks, you don't get those machines, you don't get a gadget, you don't get anything to take to the checks. So if you come any immigration installation, if you come the national headquarters, we get some units and they call them Migration Management Bureau. If you come there, just bring your problem. Make we sit down, talk, know which and what they go on. We go find solution. If you catch there, whatever day inside, then go tell you. You go drop your documentation, then go watch inside. If some negativity day inside, then go make you know. If some positivity day inside too, amen. Nobody no will make you jackpot. If you go jackpot, if you jackpot through the right way, that be one our only concern. So in jackpot and through the right way, come the office, make we do the necessary checks. If you know go come, the numbers there on your screen. Feel free call any of the numbers. If you pick, well, you know if you speak English, feel free. Ga person day, Tree person day, Pidgin person day. Any language they speak, somebody they go address you. So the summary of what I tell you be say, if you go Jamie through the right way. Bless.
Bless indeed. So you just had a message from the Ghana Immigration Service about document fraud. And if you just joined, I have with me in the studio DSI Lawrence BAALU to talk about document fraud. He's a document expert. So, DSI, back to you. I want to find out what security features are on or details are in the official documents that ordinary people can check to identify if a document is fake or real.
Okay, so when you are assessing a document, they have the first line of check that is within the visible spectrum that your eyes can see, you would know. Have the second line, which you need gadgets like the magnifiers to check, and have the third line. That's when you come to my office. We expect to have the luxury of time to measure the distance between dots and all that. So for you, those who are not document experts, when you pick the document, check and make sure that your details are correct. Think for your side, that's the best you can do. Check and make sure that the details on the face of the travel document or the visa or whatever security document we are talking about is what it is, and it represents you, and you know that you have not altered it or done anything to it. So normally I would advise that you don't just hand over your security documents, that's i.e. passport, visas, to just anybody. Because at any point in time, you should be able to speak to whatever that is on your document and in your document.
Have you dealt with any cases where people were scammed through document fraud?
So we've dealt with quite a number of them. So let me give you a typical example. There was this, let's say a victim or suspect. It depends on how we are looking at when you come to my office. So she wanted to travel and had been introduced to someone dealt with the person for the duration, never saw the person, never entered at office, never bothered to verify where the person lives or where the person's office is, parted ways with over 20,000 euros.
20,000
euros to secure a visa.
And she had never even seen the person.
Never seen the person. Always phones. And the transaction was sent the document to someone, a rider picks it up, delivers it, and that's it. So when the person was ready to travel on that fateful day, got to the airport, and immigration people realized that there was something fishy about this document, this visa the person wanted to travel with. And it was a high level counterfeited document. I explained that one of the streams is a counterfeit document. That's a complete reproduction of a document. So it was referred to my office. Normally the airport is the first line, second line checks. It was referred to my office. We did analysis of it and realized it was a counterfeit. Then upon questioning, she gave us the backstory and all that. So we realized she had lost the chance to travel, also lost money. And at that point in time, she was equally liable because she presented the visa.
Yeah.
The visa is in her name. She's unable to trace to who procured or secured that visa for her. So if we are to go by the law, such a person who has lost money might be prosecuted because you've committed an offense, which is a document fraud offense.
Even though they didn't create it.
You know, the laws, we say that ignorance of the law is no excuse. So I mentioned it's in your name.
Mm-hmm.
You have secured a visa in your name. We in our office investigating, you are the only one we know. If you can lead us to, and normally those are the ones we are very interested in. But unfortunately, they find a way to hide and mask themselves very well. That's sometimes difficult to apprehend them. So we don't have that person. You are the one we have. You claim that someone did it for you. The game is an evidence-based game.
Mm-hmm.
How do we ascertain that what you are telling us is right?
I understand. So were you able to arrest the person?
No, we didn't get the person because they people like that have done such things for a while, so they know how to mask themselves so well that sometimes it's difficult for the security apparatus to apprehend them.
So what measures is your department putting in place to fight document fraud, to protect people like these from being scammed? What measures?
So for the first place, this is one of the measures. We are here doing public education, engaging them, letting them know what to look out for and what to do, what not to do. The second one is what I said earlier on. We conduct trainings for our officers so that when you meet them, they can advise you the right way. We are also working with sister agencies, conduct training for them, help them in their investigations to apprehend some of these people. Also, one of the most important ones which should have even come first is enhancing the security features of documents. So I can proudly say that our office was part of the brain behind the manufacturing of our new biometric chip embedded passport. So those are some of the measures we have put in place and we continue to engage. They are day in, day out. Sometimes you are in their office and someone walks in. I have this document that I've gotten. I want to travel with it. Can you help me make meaning of it? Can you help analyze it and tell me whether it's good or bad?
So wait, it was your department that came up with the idea for the chip embedded passport?
We played a part. It was a collaborative effort championed by my OIC. So I won't say we're working in the national interest.
Yes.
So issuance of passports is within the domain of foreign affairs. But my OIC was the document aspect on it.
Wow. So the measures have been put in place. What challenges are you having that is restricting the fight against document fraud?
I think it has to do with our attitude, our culture of using third parties. We want to get things easy, and the desperation to travel. People are so desperate that once they hear that, hey, this connection man can do something for me, they easily jump onto it, and they fall prey to scammers, and they end up finding themselves in trouble. So the desperation, the use of third parties. Because can you imagine, I had a case in my office that someone who has 2 master's degrees has gone to a GSS lever to procure a visa for him. Ended up, the visa wasn't good. The person can't be found.
Wow.
So it's a lot to do with the individual's attitude now. We like people to do things for us. We won't go through the right channels. We like shortcuts. So that has been some of the challenges. But then we keep soldiering on and doing the best we can.
With these challenges, what advice will you, as DSI Lawrence BAALU, and as a document expert, and speaking on behalf of the Ghana Immigration Service and your department, give to Ghanaians, especially young people, for them to avoid falling victim to scammers, losing their money, going through all of this hullabaloo? What advice will you give to Ghanaians?
So first and foremost, I would say that, fortunately, we have the internet that you can do a lot of research. If you are dealing with someone on a travel document, make sure you can put a name, a face, an office to the person. The person says he has this travel and tour agency. Make sure you have done good background. Some of these things are very simple. Unfortunately, the youth of nowadays will use our phones for, excuse me to say, a lot of unnecessary things and forget about the necessary things. Try to Google, search on whoever you are dealing with. And after if you use a third party, instead using third parties like you asked, it's not entirely bad, but are you using the right third party? If you are using the right third party who knows what he's doing, who won't land you into trouble, you are good to go. When after the document is procured, go on to do a further check. There are immigration officers, my office is there. You can walk in, ask the immigration officer to check for you. Would a document expect would know? There are sometimes just by a glance of a document, I can know that the document is not good. When you do it for a while, you perfect it, So do a background check. There are sometimes, what I've realized is that some of the connection men will take a picture and tell you that, oh, you have to pay before I give you the document. If you can come to an agreement and verify the documents before paying, it saves you a lot of wahala, losing your money and all that. But unfortunately, if you are unable to go on that terms and it's procured for you, you can still check before traveling, because you would have lost money, and at the end of the day, you'll be arrested and you might end up being prosecuted. And document-related offenses are serious offenses, such that you can be jailed to a term of up to 2 years and fine of 10 million cedis.
10 million Ghana cedis. Wow. And up to 2 years.
And it could be both. So it's a serious offense. Because if you look at the document offenses, if we tackle it, we can tackle a lot of transnational crimes. Because nobody crosses borders without official documents. So if you have a document of a country, it is assumed you are from that country. So you are kind of representing the country, even though we've not sent you. That's why we have taken measures to strengthen our document, to preserve its integrity, such that when you are dealing with other countries, they are convinced that, oh, if it's Ghana document, okay, they have done well with their document. So they are always ready to engage to deal with that. I won't mention it, but we know that there are certain countries that other countries will not want to deal with them. They are a bit skeptic when it comes to dealing with them. So there's a fight we all have to come together to preserve our documents and to make sure that miscreants don't abuse and misuse our document, so that we'll be accorded the needed respect and the necessary help when it's needed.
I want to say thank you so much, DSI Lawrence BAALU, for joining us in the studio today. I believe there's so much more that we need to tackle to educate the public about document fraud, to basically save Ghanaians the risk of losing their hard-earned money and possibly even being prosecuted. So I want to say thank you very much for joining us in the studio. I'm sure we'll be having you here again so we can continue the discussion on document fraud. But before you go, is there anything that you want to add that you haven't touched on yet?
I think so far I've touched on basically all I need to touch on. But like I repeat, our attitude using third parties, verify.
Verify. And that was DSI Lawrence BAALU. He's a document expert from the Ghana Immigration Service. To be specific, the Document Fraud Expertise Center at the Ghana Immigration Service. Thank you very much. And for those that just joined, you can watch the interview over and over again on all our YouTube channels and our Facebook pages, so you can get yourself abreast with what's happening in Ghana today pertaining to document fraud. Don't worry, if you have any questions, please send them into our comment sections, and the next time we have DSI Lawrence BAALU in the studio, we'll pose them to him so he answers those pressing questions. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Kristocentric News. My name is YEBOAH Edwin Takyi, your Christian news anchor, and I'll always remind you that God is not done with you. Your best is yet to come. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah. Bible's up. Preachers. Bible's up. Yeah. Oh, no, no. You know, from the east or the west, he did come from above. Oh, I not to see that I'm blessed. He did come from above. Oh, all of the money that I get, he did come from above. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na na. He did come from above. Oh.
Intinya dia mitobia free me so much of game is kong to the limit. This a me trouble 10 team kese. You can check my lyrics, man, I'm full of bars, so me more yeah. Nyame se ma me my high school favorite. Oh yeah, me boa for me twa me ho me nyo bi otise no. Kwantre for oni bia danfo. Wo be yen shi wa se wodi na sem so. Weni me hwemo emra me sugu no so. Emra sem ba me so. Nanka wana beji me afi so bra yokon. Se me bottom my green to say Travis. What you mean, man, no, they see their barbers. Gina, you can sit to